Good evening. It's March 13th at 6:20 PM. I'm opening the Dudley Conservation Commission. The commission is present.
Nancy Bakovic.
Samantha Costello.
George Slingo.
Frank Gardecki.
Okay. First on the agenda is Albert Salonis? Salonis. Mountain bike usage on conservation land, volunteers for trail making and marking.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Albert Salonis III, and I am currently a junior at Shepherd Hill. I am a member of the math team, the marching band. I also volunteer to tutor at the middle school. I volunteer as a percussion teacher for the middle school as well, and I'm also involved in various other groups at the school. But in my free time, which isn't very often, I have a passion for mountain biking, and I want to bring mountain biking to Dudley for others to share. I have a vision that would exponentially improve the tourist industry, provide a place for everybody to learn about the environment protection and appreciation, and put Dudley on the map as a place to visit, all of which improves the economic potential of Dudley, which in turn makes Dudley a better place for residents. Mountain biking is increasingly becoming popular amongst all ages. It is a sport that combines mental stamina with physical ability. I was interested in mountain biking about 3 years ago. I always was interested in launching my bike off of stone walls and other jumps. Almost every week during our summer vacations, my mother would pack our bikes and head to other towns so we could ride other trails. We would spend a day in these towns and often find areas within the town to explore. Thus, we were bringing money to those towns. Sadly, there are no mountain biking trails in Dudley for my family to enjoy. This is when my vision began to form. How great would it be to stay in my hometown and enjoy the land and the sport that I love? That's when I decided to go to the town board of selectmen for assistance and possibly making new trails right here in beautiful Dudley, Mass. Our Dudley town selectmen were very receptive to the idea and very supportive of the opportunity that these trails could provide for our town. The board directed me to Carol on the recreation committee. After a wonderful discussion, Carol suggested an area of Ardlock Acres on New Boston Road, which is on the map with the X. And of course, I had to immediately drive there and check it out. Word to the wise, the stream that is there is deeper than I realized, and after trying to cross the stream, I landed in thigh-high mud. However, the land is perfect. I am extremely interested in forming a volunteer group to design and mark the trails. Carol and I discussed possibly branching off from an existing trail and doing a loop back to the main entrance/exit of the trail. If approved and done correctly, Dudley would be a pioneer amongst other towns in our area where there are a few trails to ride. Families would come from all over to ride our trails and bring tourism to local restaurants, stores, and businesses. Bikers and their families spend roughly an average of $75 a day for food, gas, and supplies, according to MomentumMag.com. Our small businesses would benefit from the tourists as well. Dudley depends on these businesses to maintain our wonderful town appearance and town status. We want to continue to be known as a town that not only has fantastic school districts, low taxes, and friendly people, but also a town that will draw tourists and offers family a place to enjoy the outside together. A mountain biking trail would bring all of that together for our town. I look forward to working with this committee in the hopes of building a vision and a place for everyone in Dudley to enjoy some riding. I firmly believe that Dudley has the land, but just needs a visionary to help make this a reality. I'm hoping to be the visionary for this cause. I look forward to listening to your thoughts and advice from this committee on the best way to proceed with this plan. Mountain biking is a sport that everybody can enjoy, and I would like to help bring this sport to my hometown of Dudley. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I don't have any questions. Any board members have questions?
Is this gonna have I don't know yet where is the best place. Matt, Albert, and I will be going out when Albert's schedule allows, either on a Friday or a weekend, to take a look at where a possible location might be.
How many acres are our lot acres?
93,
Okay, so there's enough land.
92.3.
There's enough, plenty of land to
Mm-hmm.
have a good trail.
So you haven't figured out where you want to exactly do this yet?
No, I went out on Thursday last week, and I went out and there's still 10 inches of snow on the ground, so I didn't go very far, and then I fell into the stream, and I decided that not to get hypothermia, I should head back to the truck and warm up. So then that kind of cut that short, and then I went down to what was the
Blue
next-
Heron?
yeah, Blue Heron. I decided to go down there and take a look at that, but I kind of made the decision that Ardlock Acres was a little bit more suitable.
Okay, so you're gonna try to line up something with our wetland consultant and walk that?
Yes, we've motion has been in place to do a walkthrough of the trail. I just need to find some time because I have a lot of competitions on the weekends, so and also the weather's been kind of nasty too.
I think it's a great idea. The only issue that I would have, and you're already addressing it, would be with Matt walking it to make sure that you're not really hurting
Right.
anything
That's
that's
obviously
over there.
the main goal is to leave the lowest imprint of human traffic as possible, but still making it nice for everybody to enjoy.
Would this require anything of him coming before us for an order of conditions or anything like that? No? No. So do you know, just other than if we say yes, we agree that, then there's nothing else he has to do but work with Matt to kind of map it all out and then get together your funding and your support group to make it
Right.
happen?
Yes. We don't need like machines. We just need people power, essentially. Just clearing the overburden, like the leaves and stuff, and just making it nice and flat and nice for everybody.
All right. My other question would be, what happens if someone gets hurt on a mountain bike riding through there?
Injuries,
insurance?
insurance.
Yeah, it's similar to like soccer or anything. It's town insurance, pretty much.
It's a passive recreational use, which is like walking and hiking or horseback riding there too. That's all allowed. Regular biking as well as mountain biking.
Okay. All right.
Well, they could also put up a sign that says, you're using this trail at your own risk.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that alleviates the,
Yeah. You're going in there knowing that there's some element of danger, but not obviously killer danger.
All right.
So what do we?
I don't see a problem with that. I'd love to see how it works out. See how it, hopefully you can tape off a trail and invite us out so we can walk it and see what it looks like.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for putting time into it.
Yeah,
Of course. Have a nice rest of your night.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
You too.
You're welcome.
Second on the agenda is to Universal Tag, 36 Hall Road, request to lift enforcement order. Anybody here on that? Matt's recommendation is Matt performed a site inspection and recommends lifting the order.
I'll make a motion that we lift the enforcement order for
Second.
36 Hall Road Universal Tag.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is Pierpont Extension Request for existing order of conditions.
That's for the aquatic weed control. Pierpont Pond.
I'll make a motion, we grant
Oh.
the request for the extension.
Yeah, I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to extend the existing order of conditions for Pierpont. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
It was the same thing.
Next
for-
is Laundered Pond, extension for an existing order of conditions.
I make a motion that we, that's for the the aquatic weed control also, right? I make a motion that we extend the existing order of conditions for Launder Pond.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to extend the order of conditions for Laundered Pond. All those
Aye.
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 opposed? Motion carries. 138 Southbridge Road, request for a certificate of compliance.
Matt went out there and the work has been completed in accordance with the order of conditions.
Okay.
I make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for 138 Southbridge Road.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to order a request for a certificate of compliance for 138 Southbridge Road. All those support?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10 Noble Street, notice of intent for a single-family house dwelling and associated activities. Good.
George, you want to open the public hearing?
Open the public hearing.
I'll open the public hearing at 6:36.
So we'll put a mailings and the public hearing notice copy.
Thank you.
He's out of high school.
Any abutters, Chris?
Don't have to worry about that yet.
Oh, okay.
I have a few copies too if anyone wants one to have.
I think I have a couple copies here. Yeah, can you give him one copy? And I'll let you guys do-
My name is Nick Honda, I'm from engineering, we're representatives for Tony, the owner. It's 10 Noble Street, lots, little over 2 acres, large, proposed single-family home, on-site septic and well. Been speaking with Tony, I think he actually wants to bring his house a little more close to the street, so more out of that buffer zone. This red line shown here, I know those aren't color copies, but I printed this one color. This red line's the underfoot buffer, and the blue line being the wetland line. And then we show those fill barrier, wrapping around the well, the background of the proposed work.
And you say he's moving the house closer to the road from what we see here?
Yeah, so this is more of a preliminary design. He would like to move it a little bit more closer, as close as possible. 60 feet from the road. Yeah.
So he'll be out of that 100-foot buffer.
Probably not.
No.
I don't know if we'll be able to keep the house out of the 100-foot buffer. Might be close.
You're gonna be running into your septic system.
It'd be too
Yeah,
close.
exactly. I mean, 'cause
You gotta be 20 feet from that.
Right.
yes, exactly. And then, you know, the slope going down from the road. But it's mostly fill, so they could be able to cut that back a little bit. There's other configurations of the septic to help, you know.
How far is the house right now from the septic?
Right now from the septic, it's, I believe it's a little over 20 feet.
That's from the leach bed, right? That's from
Yeah,
the
so-
leach, right?
How are you proposing to move it closer if you're 20 feet now? Unless you're
Well-
gonna move the whole septic.
Yeah, so right now we're showing the septic trenches with the reserve in between. If we could, we'd have to go back out there and do more soil testing, and then we could, you know, use chambers, which would bring them all together and have the reserve separate.
Yep.
Because right now, you can see there's little lines in between the chambers. That's the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
So if maybe we can slide the reserve over here and then keep the septic, you know, shrink it a little bit right there, we might be able to bring it closer. But then again, it'll still be pretty close. It'll still be proposed work within 100 foot. So,
Usually it brings a three-bedroom house.
oh, it's gonna be 3 bedroom?
So
Okay, so that'll,
That's gonna change, it says 4 on here.
That's gonna change that too.
What's the perk rate over there? It hasn't been done yet?
we've done soil testing, but we haven't done a perk yet. We've just seen if the soil's there.
Does that have to be done first, George?
Well, typically, if you come before, I mean, if you make changes, what we're approving is what you have here. If you make changes, they have to modify the order of conditions to reflect that. So if the Board of Health is gonna make you change something, you know, move your well or do, you're gonna change your field, I'm okay with that because you're not coming any closer. But if you're moving your house further away, the only problem I see is that you might be moving your well one way or another. You might be putting the cart before the horse here.
So basically, he's gotta do a perk test first, figure out what that's at,
Well,
and then change the
no,
plan
no.
for us?
nope, he can, if we approve this tonight, if he wants us to approve this tonight, then he would have to basically agree. I mean, he can't make any major changes. He can't go any closer to the wetlands on any of this stuff. He can come back further away, but if he makes a major change at all,
Even to moving this. Yeah.
moving that is not really considered a major change.
Okay.
But, I mean, if he comes any closer with anything, you know, he comes over here and he finds out this ledge, and he has to actually go
Further back,
closer
closer to the water.
wetland, he'd have to come back before this board again.
The only change with it, I'm trying to keep the house close to the street as much as I can.
Yep.
I think I'm probably 6 feet right now, looks like it's probably 80. I'm really close to the street, maybe, as much as I can. Because we have leaching field rate, so we have to.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that,
Make a bed at the end of the roof.
because you're getting it further away from the wetlands. I don't have a problem in the world with that. But what I'm saying is that if we approve this tonight, if there's for any reason you have to go further away, you're gonna have to come back before this board,
Yeah, that's understood.
okay?
So if you have to move closer to the wetland, then you gotta come back.
Excuse me?
To go further away from it, you probably would be all right.
That's another option.
We're gonna want to see a copy of the as-built plan once everything is done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that'll be in our order of conditions. So that we can compare it to make sure that everything's matches or you didn't encroach.
Yeah, there was no issue from DEP, but that was with the plan submitted.
Okay,
If
so,
it's coming this way,
I
it
was
should
just
be.
saying that DEP had no comments on their issuance of a file number, but that was based on the plan submitted, not on the change.
Right, but again, if he's going further away from the wetlands, that shouldn't impact that.
it'd be less of
Less.
It would be less, even less of an impact than what you proposed. If he has to move further, then it's gonna have to be, again, have to be notified.
So if somebody wants to make a motion?
I will make a motion that we issue a standard order of conditions.
Are there any abutters? I'm sorry. All right, hearing none, I'll close the public hearing at 20 minutes to 7. Okay, now someone please make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we issue a notice of intent for 10 Noble Street. A standard order of conditions for 10 Noble Street
As presented.
as presented on the plan,
I
right?
second.
Second.
And with an as-built to be,
With an as-built to be included in the final, or in the order of conditions,
well, once
yes.
the foundation and
Who
everything's,
seconded that?
I did.
Thank you.
okay,
Thank
The
you.
next is Paul Wheelock.
Wait, you're gonna do that? Is it
okay, a motion's
unanimous?
been
Made and seconded.
made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul? Yep.
Good evening, I'm Paul Wheelock, I'm president of the Conservation Land Trust. I'm here today because Land Trust received a grant from the NRCS and USDA to spray all the invasive species in Wheelock Woods. So we hired Matt Topa of Integrated Vegetation Services to do the work. He asked me just to come before the board to give you guys a heads up that he will be doing the spraying. He told me we don't need an NOI because the product that he's gonna be using is approved for wetlands. And the name of the product is Rodeo.
Rodeo?
Yep,
Thank you.
so that's why I'm here. I'm just giving you a heads up that we're gonna be doing the work. The work's gonna be done around the first week of June. Okay, so we're gonna spray this year, and then there's a follow-up spray next year.
And where is that, Paul?
Where?
Yeah.
Woods.
Wheelock Woods?
Yep,
Okay,
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be on the record.
I think there's some invasive deer over there. Just saying. Thank you. Okay, anything else?
You gotta sign those, you and Frank.
Yeah, get the January 30th minutes.
And you're on conservation.
I got a map of the areas that's gonna be sprayed. You guys want a copy of it, or?
Sure, we'll take one. Thank you.
Oh.
Copies.
Yeah.
You and Frank.
Okay. Minutes for,
Do we have to do any, we'll do the minutes first.
is it minutes for what?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as
January 30th.
presented for January 30th, 2019.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to accept the minutes for February 19th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Who did? Sam and then me. We don't have to do this, can we? Read this tonight?
Okay,
That's just a draft. What I've included in your packets is, the first thing shows the bylaw changes, but the next stapled section are the bylaws. Conservation has never had any rules and regulations.
Yep.
And if we wanted to change any fees, if it's in the bylaw, it has to go to town meeting. It can't be changed at a regular meeting with a public hearing, like the rules and regulations, and it's easier for future applicants to utilize the rules and regulations. So I've written up the rules and regulations, pulling information from other towns. That's basically what everybody kind of does. They borrow the information. It will need to go to town council, and the town administrator has a copy of the new proposed rules and regulations, the changes to the bylaws, and where those particular changes are affected in each section. What we'll do, if everything is okay at the next meeting, once it's approved, we can have a public hearing for people to voice their opinions on the new proposed rules and regulations, and then they can go into effect. And then the bylaw changes will be taken up at the spring town meeting.
sounds good.
So you have to publish this in the paper?
Publish that it's the rules and regulations, not, there's like 13 pages.
Right, so you're just gonna put those online on the town website and let people
Yes.
read it?
Yes.
Okay. So you're just gonna put publicize that it's available?
Mhm.
All right.
And then it goes to the town meeting.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
So moved.
A motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
What?